Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kelly and today I wanted to update you on how Summerween is going. We have, let's see, days 1 and 2 and we're on day 3 right now. So I figured I'd let you know what I've read, what I'm reading, and how everything is going. So for my read a book that is under 250 pages, I chose Grief Eater by Emma Osborne. And this was less than 100 pages and this was so good. So good. So creepy. In this book, we have Christina. She is living in a zombie apocalypse time, and she is trying to get out of the city and meet up with her best friend so that they can go to where they believe there is safety. But she gets caught by a zombie, and she's killed and resurrected as a zombie. And so we get to see from her perspective her conscious thoughts on life and everything that has happened to her. We get flashbacks of her childhood and now while she's on this mission of revenge. She's always felt like she could never get the people who have hurt her to hear her and to understand what she's gone through. And so now she feels like she has the strength and the ability to really have them hear her. And so she is going to make everyone who hurt her pay. And it was so good. I mean, 5 stars. 5 stars. I love that you see her journey because I don't know if anyone has read a lot of apocalypse books, zombie apocalypses especially, but you see the human perspective where they're dodging zombies and things like that. So this time you kind of get to see the other side where she can detect where humans are, because sometimes she needs to avoid them because she's on a mission to go where her abusers are and seek revenge. And it is what is driving her. And she keeps having this, like, what feels like a red wave where her hunger is all consuming and she kind of almost like loses who she is. But she doesn't want that to take over until she can get her revenge. And it is her story. She's going from the city she's in out to the Australian bush to where the people who hurt her are. And then along the way, we find out the ways in which they hurt people. And she finds out very early on that as you're eating people, you get flashes and glimpses of things that are important to them or places that are important to them. And so she wants to see if she gets her revenge on these people and she can eat them, if they ever felt any remorse for the way that they treated her. And so this is just a huge book about this woman who dies and becomes a zombie and who is grappling with an incredibly hard life and an incredible amount of grief that she has had in her life. It was an incredible journey. I had so much fun with this. I highly recommend borrow it from your library. I checked it out as an ebook. I read it in an evening. It was so good. I actually wish I had the ebook myself or a physical copy because I was highlighting things and I was like, why did you do that? Because you're going to return it to the library and you're not going to see it. But it was really good. I highly recommend it. But this was for my book under 250 pages. The next one was a book with pink on the cover, and for that one I chose Out There by Kate Folk, and I gave this one a 3.5 star, which was a shame. I thought it was going to be a 5 star for me, truly. Some of the stories in here, like the last 3, are the only ones I gave 5 stars to, but they were like stuck the landing 5-star stories. But then there were other stories in here that were like 2 stars that I was like, why is that in here? Because I think the problem is that she wrote some stories, but some of them were like less than 10 pages. And I feel like the ones that were less than 10 pages were the ones that suffered the most. They just were the least interesting. I don't think they fit into the story. And of course, maybe I didn't understand them all, and that's totally possible. But there was a lot of 4s and 4.5s. But then there were also a lot of 2s. And so it just averaged out to 3.5 stars. It's like horror sci-fi short story collections about asking really weird, like, what if questions and then writing a story about that. The first one, Out There, is about dating apps in the time where there are things called blots, and they are artificial men, usually, who were originally supposed to be used for one thing, but they ended up kind of being used as like data mining and stealing your identity and blackmailing you and things like that. These women who are having to try to figure out, are these men's blots? Because blots are like the most handsomest and they do whatever you want them to, and they're very I don't want to say yes men, but they want to please you. They want to do everything for you. They invite you to Big Sur, and then in Big Sur, there's like this place they can upload all of the data and basically screw the person that they were dating over. And so that one was really interesting because she meets a guy and she's trying to figure out, like, is he a bot? Is he not? And then they date for a while. But it was cool because that story and then the last one, Big Sur, it ties in and we see one of the blots that they talk about in the first story. We see it from their perspective and it kind of humanizes these blots. It was just a very sweet and compassionate story of like, what do we do when AI has too much autonomy and they know too much about themselves to be self-aware, and then they don't realize that they are such a negative thing. It was really good. The Last Woman on Earth was really good. It explored how men would treat the last woman on Earth. Like, she starts off on this talk show and they're all like enamored with her because she's like this last woman, and then kind of by the time the newness has worn off, it kind of shows how even when we are like the last and most, men still find a way to kind of shit on women. At least that's what I got from it. The Void Wife was weird. I needed more. Shelter, I didn't like. Head in the floor, I didn't understand. I liked the concept of it, and then it just ended. It kind of reminded me of the Telltale Heart, and maybe that's all it was supposed to be. Maybe, and that's just, I was dumb. Tahoe was an interesting premise, but then I was like, okay, so I just needed a little bit more. The Bone Ward was really good. Really good. I was shocked by the ending. Shocked by the ending. Doe Eyes, I didn't care for. The House's Beating Heart, I didn't care for. I was like, and so it didn't feel like that one didn't feel super original. It kind of felt like, okay, so like we've heard that kind of stuff before. Scale Mall of Gold Point was very interesting. I really enjoyed that one. That one was really good. My three favorites were Moist House, the Turkey Rumble, and Big Sur. The Turkey Rumble it gave me, what's that movie where they get married and then they like hunt each other? They hunt the new bride. Anyway, that's what it reminded me of. I liked that ending as well. Moist House was fucking weird as shit, and I liked that one too. So overall, it was a 3.5 star for me, but it does have pink on the cover, so check that prompt. Two that I'm working on right now is a new to me author, is Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep. I have never read a Paul Tremblay. I own Horror Movie, but I haven't read it, and I haven't read like the Paul Bearers Club or anything like that. I even double checked because I was like, surely I've read, but I haven't. And technically it could count as pink on the cover too, but this one is really good. I'm about almost 70% of the way in, so I haven't finished it yet, but I did want to tell you that I am enjoying it so far. It is really weird. It's about this woman whose mom gets her this interview for a job where she's going to basically remote control a guy across the country. I thought that she was like just escorting his body. It was going to be like in a, those hover sleeper coffin things, and she was just going to like travel with it. No, she has to like, why did I think that? I don't know. But she actually has to like control him with like a remote control. We're also getting his perspective. I think we're getting his perspective. And he's like living in this weird hellscape, and everything is really strange and melty, and he doesn't understand what's going on, but he kind of hears snatches of the outside world. And so, they tell us that he can't understand anything, but like we're seeing kind of differently. And the girl that's escorting him is noticing that he does a couple of things that like she didn't tell him to do. And so she's kind of wondering what's going on with that. Right now I am on the plane. They have just landed where he's supposed to be delivered to. And so now I need to find out what happens from here. I also thought it was cool. There was like an author interlude partway through, and it brought up a really interesting point that I hadn't thought about yet. So I am excited to see where that goes. So this is going to be my new to me author. I just have not finished it yet, but I did want to give you an update since we are on day 3. I do want to finish this by tonight, because I would like to submit the pages for my Sunrise on the Readathon that is also going on for the entire month of July. The second book I'm reading is Pew by Catherine Lacey, and it was pitched as horror, so this is my read a horror or a thriller book. I haven't hit the horror necessarily yet, but I think the Forgiveness Festival is where we're going to get that horror. 75% of the way done, so I should finish this today as well. And in this we have a person I thought it was an alien. It's not an alien. It's a person who wakes up on a church bench in the middle of church. Like, people saw this person laying there and they're like, hey, that's cool. We'll just sit around him. He'll wake up when he's ready. So that was already weird to me. We don't know if this person is a boy or a girl. We don't know how old they are. We don't know where they came from. We don't know nationality. And the people of the town are like becoming like increasingly more obsessed with finding out information about this person. The Reverend nicknames him Pew. And I don't know if I missed it at the beginning. I don't think I did, but it took a really long time for it to click because someone like points it out. It's a teenager. Pew presents as a teenager, and I couldn't understand why people were being so weird about certain things, which make more sense. But also, I hate everybody in this town. Everybody in this town is terrible. Basically, everyone in this town is terrible. There is this forgiveness festival, which we still don't know what it is, and it is on Saturday, and the book counts down from the Sunday that Pew was found at church, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Saturday. And I think I'm on Thursday. I'm at the end of the day, Thursday. Yeah, I'm at the end. I'm kind of towards the end of Thursday, but it brings up a lot of really interesting questions. I'm really enjoying it so far. I don't see the horror so much, but like I said, I think it's going to come like during this forgiveness festival because they're very weird about it. They are not talking about what it is, what's going on, why we have this forgiveness festival. There's a lot of racism. There is some sexism. There is some bigotry going on. There is some anti-queerness going on. And so just the more you read, the more you're like, God, I hate this whole town. I hate this whole town. Oh, I did like this. It's talking about like our political leaders, right? And it says the same people that want the power want the fame too, but I say we should never know them by name or sight. Don't you think that would be better? And I wrote, that's such a 2020 thought because this was written in 2020. It says they don't think of nothing and they don't do nothing. They just want everyone to know they're in charge. That's all. Doesn't that feel so timely? I am enjoying this. I am enjoying what is being brought up. They are becoming increasingly obsessed with the fact that Pew will not speak. They try to take Pew and get a medical exam, and they don't want to take off their clothes or anything like that. And they're like, oh, we don't have the equipment to force Pew to do that. So I am really interested to see how Friday and Saturday play out in here, and I will let you know how it ends, but I am really enjoying it so far. So for days 1, 2, let's see, July 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So for the first 3.5 days. So for the first 3.5 days, I've read Out There, I've read Grief Eater, and then working on Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep and Pew. So hopefully I will get these 2 done today, and then I can get a couple more books read for Summerween. I can't even remember what my other books were. Oh, I do want to read the last one by Will Dean. Still, that's a thriller. And I got to see what else I still need. I don't remember. I have also watched a horror movie. I watched The Thing for the first time and loved it. That was so cool. And I've also read at night. I have been mostly reading Pew at night. So if it ends up not being as horror, it can be my book I read at night, which is fine. That's all I have today for my Summerween update. It's kind of short and sweet. I have a lot going on right now. My entire family is home this week. My husband is on leave, and it is chaos in the house, but I did want to update you as best I could. And I may not update again until the end of Summerween, but it is what it is. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope that you are taking care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye. I do know what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. Back and back and back and back and back and back. I am tired. I have been filming for a while, and I'm tired.